Fuck another episode.
Back at it again.
Brothers grow trees.
Brothers growing. How you doing, brothers? How you doing, brothers?
Man, we doing fantastic, man. Another beautiful Sunday, brother.
Another beautiful Sunday.
Right.
Indeed. How y'all weekend been going, though?
Weekend been going good, man. Been going good. Been busy. Been partying.
Yeah.
So as soon as we finish this up, man, I gotta probably start trimming on a young lady I've been having drying for the past 8 days, probably 9. I don't know.
What's up?
I'm hoping she's ready. I'm about to see. So
right.
You gotta give her a little attention.
I'm gonna get into some watering myself.
Yeah. Well, shit. Well, we on another episode of Brothers Grow Trees, man. On another Sunday. Last week we got into that early veg, man. That was a really good episode. A lot of good info came out of that, man.
Right.
The brothers they told you what to look for, in that early veg stage. How to tell the gender of your plants, and making sure you get those feminized seeds. What else we learned? We learned how to test those those nutrients. I think last week I called them chemicals, and that just ain't the right word we want to use.
That is not the right word.
That ain't the right word we want to use. This ain't no damn
fucking nutrients. We are not looking for that.
Yeah, so they let y'all know how to measure that. Especially with the tools that I forget the name of the two. So we had the pH meter,
pH pen, and a TDS
pen, and the TDS meter. So if y'all haven't picked those up yet, we'll probably have a link in the description of this video.
Yeah,
here to where y'all can pick one of those up. What else we learned? We talked about how long the early veg stage lasts, and our light times. So now that we're here at this point. We done got out of that early veg stage. So far in the grow as a novice, you already know what equipment you need, and now we done move to early veg. So what we looking for next? What's our next stop in this timeline before we get to actually?
I believe what we,
where we at next in the timeline of our growth.
So we went through early veg. So now we in the, what I'm saying? Since we just finished talking about early veg, now we in kind of, I would say, kind of mid veg transition into flower.
Okay.
Kind of up in there, because that's our next step. Mid, just kind of going up in our nutrients, seeing how the ladies look leaf wise. Remember, if we got happy praying up leaves, we do our clippings, we do our trainings. When our plant is happy, if she's all sad and depressed, leave her ass alone. Leave her alone. We don't want to mess with her when she's down.
When she's pissed off. Leave her
when
alone.
She's mad, you don't want to fuck with her. Just leave her alone.
Give her some time.
Give her some time. Right. Give her a little time. It's going to heal all.
Time heals all wounds.
Right.
That's a fact.
So, today, go ahead, Trees. Go ahead.
As opposed to where you are in your growth, it's a couple of different, varying opinions of, what stage of vegetation you're in. And it's all about your preference as a grower.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a cramped growing space, no matter what week you're in, you might need to get ready to flip because, she's going to stretch after the flip.
Right.
So you can't say, well, I need to wait till I get to a certain week in veg. Well, hell, that certain week come and she might be taller than your whole damn grow space. Mm-hmm. So it's all determined upon, the grower and what you got going on. All right. So right now we should be at a stage where you should be considering flipping, or if you're growing an auto plant, she probably already in her, fruiting stage or bloom stage. Autos tend to start their bloom stage roughly about 30 days, a month after you pop them. So a month after they pop, they should be, starting What's up?
Real quick for the listeners, when you say flip them, what do you mean by that?
Oh, flip them means so we assume that. I'm sorry about that. We assumed that we was talking about photo period plants. So when you flip them,
Okay.
to make a photo period plant go start its blooming cycle, you need to change the light cycle to give it at least
Mm-hmm.
12 hours of darkness. So that's where
Gotcha.
when you hear that term "flip it to bloom," or
Mm-hmm.
that's what we're talking about, changing them lights. So in the vegetative
Okay.
stage, you should be at least 18 hours of light and 6 hours in the dark.
Right. At
If
least.
if you
Gotcha.
grow on an auto, you can go from
Gotcha.
18 on up to 24. Some people don't give they ladies no rest when they autos
Mm-hmm.
because they trying to get the most out of their plant vegetative growth. Because if you grow on an auto, remember, roughly a month after, she gonna start her blooming stage. So you need to get that plant as big as possible if you're looking for any kind of decent yield. So you wanna push that plant, push that plant. I like to give my plants rest. I like to give them that light night
Mm-hmm.
cycle. I like to give them at least four. When I'm growing autos, I do like 19 5 or 20 and 4, but I give them at least 4 hours in the dark. And then late when we talking about
Yeah.
this later on
Okay.
down the line, a couple of shows next, late in the bloom phase, I changed it up and start treating them like a photo. I give them a little longer time in the dark because I want them to hurry up and get right for me.
Mm-hmm.
But for today's show, what we talking about is where we at in the vegetative stage and what's going on during that stage, and we getting ready to flip. Or if you growing an auto, same thing. She should be getting ready to start a blooming cycle. So all this information would pertain to you as well, for as
Right.
nutrient strength, and water frequency. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty
Right.
much going to be the same at this point for both plants because you have to remember autos and photos, once they start blooming, they the same basically.
Right.
They're basically the same. Maybe some people have the argument of the first 3 weeks, they're still in the vegetative period, so you still want to push your autos because you still want them to get bigger. But virtually the flowering time, if it's 63 days for the photo, shit, it's 63 days for the auto.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's the
Right.
same.
Shit.
Same thing. It just you just don't know when that happened.
Right. That's the only difference in them. Like the auto, we said it a million times. The auto gonna automatically do that. It's gonna automatically transition into flowers. So you just need to keep your eye on it. Once you start to see hairs come up, the plant done transition into flowering. And that's basically the difference in them. But once both of them start flowering, they're gonna do the same thing. It just
They gonna
one
do the
does it
same thing.
automatically, and the
Yep.
other one does it, in the change of the life schedule.
And the more you grow autos, the more you're gonna kind of get the rhythm of what they doing. You're gonna know like, all right, she's starting to bloom. You're gonna see the little hairs and go, okay, she done started to kick it off.
Right.
I after this couple of runs with autos, I'm pretty much gonna leave it alone. I don't I prefer photo period. I just think that they smoke better. I think they hit harder. I think that weak or non-potent gene from autos just linger around in autos no matter how good the breeder. Mephisto and Fast Buzz, those are the only breeders that I use.
Right. It's a
Yeah,
part of shit.
it's a part of them. You don't know when it's gonna
Mhm.
sneak up, but I think that's the photos just hit harder. They smoke. They give you a better high. I mean, autos,
Yeah.
they do that
Yeah,
thing too, but
man. You can get right off the motto. So
you
don't,
get you get right out.
this is pertaining to our preference in growing. Nothing wrong with autos. Autos, shit. I started out growing autos, so nothing wrong with autos. Autos do their thing, but preferably, I rather grow a photo for the control of I can determine when I'm a turning in. You
Right.
know,
The
that's
control.
that's that's mainly more of why I choose photos because I would like that control of turning. I might accidentally break a branch or try some new nutrients, and I would like that. I would like that swing time in veg for the plant to automatically like, all right, I done bounce back, rather than, oh man, I done tried this. The plant is in bloom, and my eyes are a little different. So, yeah, auto plants are wonderful as well. It's just preference,
and also, real quick, bro, you touched on control. Control is real big when you working or growing in a controlled environment.
Yes.
If you're growing in a tight closet space where you don't have much headroom and you growing an auto, you don't know if that auto gonna just get ridiculously big or stay short. I've had 2 autos out the same pack from Mephisto. A certified breeder of autos. One grew 3 feet tall and the other one 6 feet tall. So when you growing that photo, you got control of when you want to tell it to bloom. With an auto, you just basically at the mercy. You hoping like, oh my God, she getting tall. She getting tall. I hope she start fucking blooming. And then when she blooms, she gonna stretch. Oh my God, I hope she blooming now. You don't know.
Right.
So I would suggest get an auto if you got the room. If you got that tent with a 72 inch, 84 inch tall tent, even a 60-inch tent, 5-foot tent, do you with an auto. Good. I say roll with that. But if you're in the closet, you can grow an auto, but cross your motherfucking fingers, though.
Right. Your training needs to be on point. That's basically, your training need to be, and I always say train early while the plant is flexible. Once the plant get a little older, the branches get a little thicker, then your training options are limited. Right. Yeah. They're a little stubborn up in there. You're a little limited of what you can do.
You're a little limited. Especially if you're using silica in your grow. If you're using silica in your grow, they're gonna stiffen them up even quicker. You got pretty much up until like that 3rd week after the flip to do what you need to do. Right, roughly around that 3rd week, then it's that those branches started to get a little woody on you.
Yeah, right.
They get a little woody on you. You better like me. I use a lot of scrog nets, and I learned my lesson when I first started using scrog nets. I used the wire, and the wire you can't is unforgiving. You can't stretch it.
Right.
So I'm trying to bend them damn branches up out of there. I'm breaking shit. I got duct tape all over this motherfucker. I done broke so many goddamn branches. You know what I'm saying? I was like, all right.
Don't flip on that duct tape now. Don't flip on that duct.
So we need to train earlier, or we need to get a scrog net with some give, and that's when I moved to the elastic scrog nets. They strong enough to hold. They don't need to be too strong because they still just tree branches, basically weed branches.
Right.
So don't need to be too strong, but it does need to be stretchable. If you need to get that branch under a spot, you might she might stretch yourself into a bind. You know what I'm saying? Like I really need to get this branch under this goddamn hole right here. But man, if you working with one of those wire ones, you just gotta hope that you real careful getting our ass up under there. But if you got a stretchable one, you can basically just pull that bitch up while you push her down and get her up under the square, up under the line into the square, and you good. But I really advise, if you're gonna grow in a closet or a short space, get you a photo period plant, because a photo period strain, I should say, because you'll have full control over the stretch, over the time that it goes into the bloom cycle, the time in veg. You the master of all that, and because you have such limited room, you really need that.
You really need that,
because if this your first grow, you don't want unpredictable shit happening. You know what I'm saying? You don't want that.
But let me throw this out there, because humans are unpredictable. We fuck up a lot of shit, right? So if I'm a new grower and I done already went and bought my seeds, I done already started this photo plant in my closet without considering this shit, right? So let's say it start growing tall. What are the worst case scenarios, and what can I do to still get something out of that plant? Is it all over? Am I like, did I fuck it up too much to where I can't reap any benefits from this plant I already started growing a couple of months ago? Or what do I do next if I done already got this far? It's in my closet. I can't take it out now. I ain't got no tent. And I got this photo in there, and that bitch is tall. Like, what's my option?
Okay.
Like, because this is what a real motherfucker gonna say. I already fucked up, bro. What can I do?
I ran into that so many times. I feel it's actually a good question. Shit. You know, it's a good question. Shit.
So what I would suggest, you said the key word you said was you got a photo period. So you still good.
Oh, right.
The key to having a photo period, or the most beneficial thing about having a photo period, as long in this vegetative state, you can do anything you want with her, because she gonna bounce back.
Right.
You can do pretty much anything you want with it. So if you got a tall plant in your closet, your scenario is growing up, it's about to hit the light, you like, dang.
Right.
I thought I ain't know I was supposed to change the light cycle. I thought it was just supposed to start growing weed.
Right.
And this bitch done grew, she done grew into the light. So you still in the veg period. Now this gonna seem strange as shit to you, but your only way out of this issue is to top her.
Only option
is to cut her head off. You gotta chop her head off. You can chop her ass in half. Only thing you gonna lose is time.
Right.
Because with any injury, anytime you cut on your plant, it's an injury, and that injury has to heal. A fan leaf you pinch off, that's a quick injury. That's like a scratch on us.
Right. Okay.
You cut off a little branch, it's gonna take a little longer. That's like cutting off a pinky finger.
It's trauma. It's trauma.
It's trauma. But you can't cut a motherfucker across the neck and expect him to bounce back, goddammit.
You gotta give him a little time.
You're gonna have to give him some time, goddammit.
Gotta give him a little time.
And what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to top her, you're gonna have to basically cut her in half.
And train her.
What I would do is I would cut. If you growing like that, inexperienced growing, and you just let it grow, the cannabis plant is gonna grow like a Christmas tree. All right. So you're gonna have one big branch in the middle going straight up. That's what's gonna be like. That's what's gonna send you into your panic zone. And then you're gonna have a lot of little branches around it. What you're gonna do then is you just gonna chop that middle branch all the way down to the same height as the ones around it.
Right.
And then all of them gonna start coming up together. And as soon as she heal, okay, give her a week after, and then flip it. Then change the light schedule.
Okay. Okay.
So what we looking at, you're going to chop in half. That's going to be a severe injury. That's going to take about 2 weeks to get it back right. And you're going to have to watch your watering, your nutrition. Your nutrients are going to have to be on point. Like right now, it's not a time for you to fuck up anything. Now, also, with that said, if she tall like that, I'm assuming that she's healthy.
Right.
If she's not healthy, you can't perform that surgery.
Right.
No. That's the difference. And y'all up in Chi-Town, that's like getting one of them escorts versus one of those crackhead pimp. One of them hoes that's being that the crack pipe they pimp. You know what I'm saying? you want to go to get your lady from a madam versus Big Willie.
Over there on Madison Street.
You said a madam.
You want to go to a madam, goddamn. You don't want to get enough pretty Tony. No, you don't want that. So if you chop her head off like that while she already hurt, man, you can stretch that 2 weeks out to about a month and hope she make it back.
Damn.
Because you're doing a very, very serious injury. And the keys are, 1, she has to be healthy. 2, still in the vegetative state. It's funny you bring that up. I had a plant exactly like that. I think it was I forgot the strain, man, but it was she grew incredibly tall. I had her in my baby tent. I got a little 4x2 tent that I use for all my seedlings. That's why I started my plant set. And I had the tent that she was supposed to be using. Those plants took longer than I expected. So I had to leave in there longer. And man, she just grew. Oh my God. She got out of control. So I was like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I said, you know what? I'm gonna mainline her ass. And mainlining consists of not just chopping her head off. Mainlining is removing everything off the plant except for 2 big ass fan leaves and 2 growth nodes.
Right.
Everything else got to go. And that's what I did to her. She came back harder. Took her about a month, but she came back harder.
That shit
Growing
sound
more
like a
leaves and
severe
everything.
detox or something. You know what I'm
Oh
saying?
man,
You done
Right.
stripped it down.
oh man, it's gonna hurt her, but man, she gonna come back
She
even
gonna
harder.
bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
I did 6 plants like that this time. I didn't do a full main line, but I did the first 2. You know what I'm saying? I topped it and chopped off everything. Had the 2, 2 growth nodes and 2 big ass fan leaves. But yeah, I did 6 plants like that. Yeah, shit. Some the best thing I can say about that, some liked it, some didn't. Shit. Some was like, God damn, I can take it, give me more.
Right.
And some of them was like, God damn, you know what I'm saying? It
Yeah.
definitely
Yeah,
it's a high stressor,
right.
And the plant had time, you know. I gave her great nutrients. Plant was healthy, you know what I'm saying? Leaves was playing up. But like I said, it's a mainline is a heavy stressor. So,
And our strains ain't built for that shit.
right.
Yeah,
All strains ain't
our strains ain't built for that shit. You know what I'm saying?
can
It
take
is what it
heavy
is,
stress,
man. And most of the time, the breeder, whenever you buy your seeds, they usually have that in the description. I take
Right.
it a little further than just the broker. So I buy from Luscious Genetics, Seedsman, North Atlantic Seed Company. Breeze buy from North Atlantic, the Canuck Seeds.
Yeah, True North.
True North. Those are our brokers. And
Yeah.
then they sell seeds from breeders. So they'll have a brief description of the seeds. Or they have a brief description of the seeds, on their site. But I take it a little further, and whatever breeder I'm buying, I go to their website and look at their description.
Right. Oh, okay.
And sometimes it'll match up perfectly. They just take the information from there and just copy it over to their spot. But then a lot of times the breeders have more information. They'll say, this plant gonna grow tall. This plant is a heavy eater. It's gonna take a lot of nutrients. This plant does well with mainlining. This plant does or does not do good with scrogging.
Right. Good for beginners.
Good for beginners. They're gonna have a good description. So, when you go to the broker to get your seeds, pick out your breeder, and then go to the breeder site and look up that strain. And then, I keep it super simple. I just type in my Google search, Humboldt seeds, blueberry cupcake, and then boom, they site pop
that
up,
was
and bam, I go straight to there.
Good one. That blueberry cupcake was a good one. Like,
that was a nice one. I can't wait. The next one I'm growing is all gas OG from Humboldt. I can't wait to try that.
All gas.
I mean, the name alone, goddamn. All right.
Yeah, that should sound like it's gonna stink so good.
It ain't half. It's all.
Shit gonna be pungent.
Pungent.
It better be, because if not, I'm gonna hit Humboldt's up. Like, let me speak to somebody in the goddamn in the breeding department.
Right.
Now, you said all gas go G. I want to say a lie. Goddamn it, I need all gas OG.
And at this stage, like, even like this mid veg stage, you like your plant, you should be really paying attention to your plant. You know what I'm saying? Your plant should be all leafy and shit. You know what I'm saying? Motherfucker should be pretty. Like Tree said, you should be like getting ready or about to determine if you got a photo, you know what I'm saying, to flip, or if it's an auto, you should be looking, you know what I'm saying, or starting to notice some little hairs, you know what I'm saying, kind of coming up,
Now we should be checking on these plants daily, right? What is our watering schedule still looking like at this point? Are we still just we really going off field, but are we still like, what's the average watering? Is that like a couple times a week, or is that?
Well, now, right around this time, we should be
Mm-hmm.
up to at least once every other day at the
Okay.
very least, because the roots should be growing considerably by now. Now, a couple of
Mm-hmm.
things to take into account.
Yeah.
We're at the end of veg, but the roots are still growing, and your roots
Mm.
gonna keep growing up until the third week after the flip.
Right.
So if you're using complete crop and you bought Myco Plus, they mycorrhiza for the roots, and you bought Flower Fuel, if you look on the back of your bag, it got a schedule for you. You're gonna say, look, use this complete crop throughout the growth, and then use this mycorrhiza up into the third week of after the bloom. And the reason because of that is the mycorrhiza is strictly a fungus that coats the roots. And basically what it does is it helps bring nutrients in. All right. And your roots are still growing. So they want you to use it up until the third week after the flip. After that, they don't want you to use it no more because your roots ain't growing no more. There's no need for it. It's a waste at that point. You know what I'm saying? It ain't doing shit. All right.
Save
Your
that
root,
room for something else.
because your roots is covered with that fungus. It's growing, it's thriving. Right now, you just basically wasting money. So on the bag, it's gonna tell you use this product Myco Plus up until the week 3 of bloom, and then after that, it's gonna tell you to use the final product, which is Flower Fuel, and we'll get into that later. But first, water and frequency. One, you still should be weighing your bucket, kind of just picking it up a little bit. And right now, you should be in a rhythm. You should know.
Right. And then I think that was the point of the question there. So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? If people know their watering schedules, these are the times to really assess your plants and check the health of them and see, like, to mitigate a lot of these things we're talking about now. So, when you're doing your watering, when you're doing all that, make sure you're looking at your plants, you're assessing them, looking at the leaves, and, because, us new growers, we may just, on our watering schedule, we go in there, dump some stuff in there and leave, depending on what our schedules is like. But take a minute to actually assess your plants, you know what I mean, and give it a good look over every time you're in there looking at it.
Yeah, and when you go in there and you see her looking a certain way, you go know something wrong. Like if you ain't watering her enough, she gonna tell you. And that's when you can make a good judgment call. You can really kind of gauge everything. What I mean is, you say you open up your tent or open up your closet, you looking at, and she's super sad. Leaves like they wilting, laying down. She ain't got no energy or nothing. That's from underwatering. If you watering like every 2 or 3 days or whatever you're doing, that's underwatering. What I do at that point is I pick up the pot. I feel it. I want to know how heavy it is to make her feel that way. It's light as a feather. I'm like, okay, I know she ain't got no goddamn water in there. It's time to water. It's time to put some water in it. But the main thing that you should be looking for now the main things you should be considering now is, one, am I finna flip the bloom? All right. That's if you're growing a photo. What an auto is assessing your plant, like you said, and trying to see if she's in bloom. If say you had her down, it's day 40. You just go ahead and assume that she's in a bloom cycle. All right. One thing you definitely, what I suggest that you do is we're going to do a little pruning at this point. Yeah. And the reason that we're going to do this pruning at this point is after you flip your plant to bloom, she going to grow bushy than a motherfucker. All right. Them hormones is going to go fucking bananas. And she going to bush the fuck out. And that's bad. That's bad for so many reasons. So many reasons to bloom, that's bad. You covering the bud sites. You got goddamn leaves everywhere that's sending the humidity straight sky high. Humidity and buzz equals disaster. Man, you can't get no airflow because she got leaves and shit everywhere. Them buds ain't gonna develop. They gonna be all airy and wimpy. It's a whole fucking multitude of goddamn problems. All right? So once you make up your mind that, all right, I'm ready to flip, you're going to give yourself a week because now we finna do a little heavy pruning.
All right. Now, real quick, Trees. So right before, I just want to back up just a second because I probably missed it. But are there any like physical aspects of the plant that either tells us that it's ready to be flipped to bloom, or is it just we kind of going off of a schedule? Like what physical things can we look at in the plant and say, all right, I think I'm ready to flip this bitch to bloom, or is that just on the grower when they're ready to flip it to bloom? Is that discretion of the grower?
It's discretion of the grower.
Okay.
I thought you said tree.
No. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, so it's just it's on discretion of the grower, and it's all about your environment. So there is no, if you're growing an auto, the particular signs you want to look for is like some little hairs. You're gonna see like some little white hairs kind of coming up from the bud sites. It's starting to, it's transitioning. So you're gonna see like little white hairs starting to come up in the plant. That's if you got an auto. If you got a photo, it won't transition until you change the light schedule, and you need to take account of your basically of your environment, your space, because like I said, it's gonna double in size.
Mm-hmm.
So you need to think about think about the space around the plant. Like you see the size it is now. Once you flip it, once you decide to transition it into flower, you need to think about the space around. Am I gonna have some space up high, and am I gonna have some space left and right? Because it's basically gonna wide out a little bit, but it's gonna shoot straight up. So you definitely want to just take that into account. But yeah, it's totally on grower, grower how you want the motherfucker.
Yeah, it's our grower preference. A photo period is not gonna give you any kind of indication that it's ready to flip. Now, what I've done a couple of times is, and this is also, grower preference. This is not a, written in stone, but I think mature plants will deliver better fruit. Mm-hmm. I kind of equivalent to a 13-year-old female woman, young girl, 13 years old. She can have a baby. She can get pregnant and she can have a baby. Now, is she gonna be, a good mother? Is she gonna be able to teach the baby? She ain't gonna be developed. She ain't fully developed yet. So how is the baby gonna be fully developed? Same thing with the plants. So if you let a photo period plant go long enough, it'll show you its sex. Mm-hmm. If you let it go long enough, but again, that's if you got the room. Like if it's outside, if you're growing outside, the outside cycle for cannabis plants, you drop your seeds in May and they ready in September, October. All right. That's pretty much how long it takes outside to grow. So once that plant is vegging outside, you're going to see it turn. You're going to see the hairs, or you're going to see the little balls because it's a male. But if you let that photo period plant go long enough, it's going to show you its sex. Mm-hmm. I like to do that because I think a mature plant produce better buds. I said all that to say that. Okay. I think a mature plant produce better buds. Yeah. And that's the only way a photo period will show you, quote unquote, when it's time to flip, if you let it go long enough. And people that clone a lot, that have mother plants, when I get into breeding, I'm gonna have to have me a couple of mother plants. I'm gonna have to keep them in veg forever. And they gonna show me themselves.